Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we'll be going through the 2021 action fantasy film Mortal Kombat. It's time to recall. Let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. In 1617 in Japan, Hanzo Hasashi is living peacefully in his compound with his wife, son, and newborn daughter. As he goes away to collect water in the well, suddenly a villager gets killed, which terrified them. As the killer, named Bihan, breaks into Hanzo's house, the wife hides the baby under the floor and attempts to run away with her son, but gets caught. Bihan has the ability to cast ice from his body, and he uses it to threaten them. Hanzo hears his wife scream and immediately runs back to his home. Unfortunately, he is too late and finds his family members frozen to death. Several assassins show up, but are eliminated easily by the mourning Hanzo. Realizing that the assassins keep coming, he takes the kunai and slaughters all Bihan's men one by one. He chases after Bihan, finding that he has been waiting for him. The two engage in a fight, and Bihan manages to stab Hanzo in the stomach with his kunai. The fight continues and is won by the assassin, who strikes the kunai deep into Hanzo's shoulder. The dying Hanzo hears the sound of his baby crying in the home. He tries crawling towards the house, but he dies before reaching her. As his body burns up, a dragon-shaped mark on his arm is revealed. A few moments later, Lord Raiden arrives at the village and takes Hanzo's daughter with him. Writing appears telling that the Earthrealm's existence is threatened by Outworld and will be fully invaded if they lose the upcoming tournament. The only hope for Earthrealm is the selected champions united by the descendants of Hanzo Hasashi. Back in the present day, Cole Young is competing in an MMA tournament where he gives a tough fight to his opponent. However, he eventually gets beaten and taps out before he is choked into unconsciousness. After the fight, Cole, who is accompanied by his daughter Emily, is confronted by Jax Briggs, who notices that the fighter has a dragon mark similar to Hanzo's. He claims that it is just a birthmark and nothing is special about that. They then leave him. In Outworld, Bihan, who is now transformed into Sub-Zero, approaches his master Shang Tsung, who is worried about the prophecy. He convinces his master that they will not lose the tournament since Hanzo and all his bloodline have been entirely killed centuries ago. Shang orders Sub-Zero to go to the Earthrealm and kill all the remaining champions before the tournament commences. Cole and his wife Allison take their daughter out for dinner when suddenly snow starts to fall. Regardless, it is still July, which makes them confused. The table around Emily starts freezing and Sub-Zero shows up from a distance, attacking the people nearby. Luckily, the family is saved by Jax, who drives them away from the assassin. To gain Cole's trust, he shows the same dragon mark on his body to him, telling him that he has been chosen to fight. Jax goes off to face Sub-Zero while ordering Cole to drive his family to safety and then suggests he finds Sonya Blade. Sub-Zero lures him into an abandoned building where he freezes Jax's gun with his power. Jax fights him, but the assassin is just too strong as he freezes and shatters both of his arms, leaving him for dead. Cole drops his family at a safe house and then heads over to Sonya's location. On the other hand, it is revealed that Shang and his men have been cheating in the tournament all the time by sending assassins before the tournament even starts. Cole arrives at a junkyard where Sonya initially attacks him until he shows her the dragon mark. She brings Cole into her container where she reveals that Jax received his mark after defeating a man with the mark. It is directly transferred to a guy who kills the mark holder. She also mentions an ancient tournament between realms and species called Mortal Kombat. Sonya then introduces Kano, a mercenary who also has a mark and is captured by Sonya. A few moments later, an invisible lizard breaks into the container and attacks them. Its saliva is corrosive, and Kano uses this opportunity to break him free. He fights the lizard and manages to eliminate the monster by pulling its heart out of its chest. Sonya is desperate since all her research was burnt in the attack. Kano knows that the woman is trying to get to Raiden's temple, and he knows the exact location of the place. Sonya lies to the mercenary and offers him $3 million to guide her and Cole to the temple, which he agrees to. Using Cole's friend's plane, they head into the desert and jump off the plane using parachutes. After a long walk, one of the champions from the temple, Liu Kang, approaches them and shows his firepower to the group. He escorts them to the temple where they see paintings of previous tournaments between Earthrealm and Outworld. Liu Kang urges that the training must start immediately because if the champions fail to discover their inner power, they will lose the tournament. Sonya then meets the dying Jax, who is being healed by the monks in the temple. After that, Liu Kang introduces all the remaining Earthrealm champions to Lord Raiden, who is unsatisfied with their quality. He explains that Outworld has won 9 straight victories in the tournament and that the entire human race will be enslaved if they lose the last one. Suddenly, Sub-Zero arrives at the temple and fights Liu Kang. Kung Lao comes to assist his cousin with his steel hat. Shang Tsung and Mileena also show up to attack, but Raiden intervenes and creates a lightning barrier to prevent the Outworld from continuing their attack. As soon as the villains leave, they begin the training to unlock Cole and Kano's inner power, or Arcana. However, Sonya is not allowed to join as she doesn't have the dragon's mark on her body. Jax finally awakens and discovers that he now has mechanical arms. He tries to use them, but he feels useless as he is getting weaker than before. Sonya motivates him to keep going and fighting. Cole fights Kung Lao, the fighter, but gets beaten up easily by him. On the other hand, Kano also gets his ass kicked by Liu Kang even without using his firepower. While Liu Kang is healing Cole's wounds, the Firebender shares that the Arcana only occurs when the holder has already found their purpose of life. While the champions are having dinner, Kano keeps trash-talking, which causes Kung Lao and Liu Kang to lose their patience, scolding him as a dog that is powerless and has zero skill. Offended, Kano suddenly unleashes his Arcana by firing a laser beam straight from his right eye and is very happy with his new ability. The next day, after training, Raiden approaches Cole, saying he is a worthless champion and will be a liability without his Arcana, even though the dragon mark shows that he is descended from Hanzo's bloodline, specifically from the baby Raiden rescued in the beginning of the movie. Cole gives up and Raiden opens a portal, sending him back to his family. In the Outworld, Shang Tsung gathers more fighters, Nitara, Kabal, Raiko, and Prince Goro for the upcoming tournament. Turns out that Kabal has a personal grudge with Kano and suggests a plan to break into Raiden's barrier. Kabal secretly meets Kano in the temple and convinces him to deceive the champions and join Shang Tsung's army, offering him a lot of money if he joins him. He agrees to the offer and destroys the source of the barrier using his laser. After that, Shang Tsung's army arrives at the temple with Kano already on their side. Jax fights Raiko, but is overpowered. Kabal approaches Liu Kang, and it is an even fight. Sonya fights Mileena, who manages to stab her with her knife, but she decides not to kill her since Sonya is not one of the champions, meaning her death will be worthless. Kano then shows up and attempts to crush her with a boulder. Jax tries to help Sonya, allowing him to transform his mechanical arms into the more advanced ones. He lifts the boulder and rescues her. Kung Lao attempts to attack Shang Tsung with his hat, but Nitara intervenes. With his calmness, he manages to eliminate the gargoyle. Meanwhile, Goro arrives at Earthrealm and goes after Cole and his family. Cole fights the four-handed orc, but he is outpowered. The orc then attempts to attack Allie and Emily. Feeling the need to protect his family, Cole unlocks his Arcana, which covers his body with a golden armor and allows him to create blades to help him fight Goro. Cole manages to cut off one of the arms and kill the orc with the blade. Raiden realizes that and summons Cole back to the temple, revealing that the Hasashi bloodline still lives on. With his power, Raiden attempts to bring the champions out of the temple, but Kung Lao is left behind and Shang Tsung sucks his soul out, killing him and forcing Liu Kang to watch. They arrive at the void where the Outworld villains can't track them. Liu Kang loses his hope and Raiden reveals that all gods are forbidden to intervene in the war. He then hands over Hanzo's kunai to Cole that was recovered after his death, suggesting him to use it. Cole suggests that they need to split up and fight the villains in a 1 vs 1 duel. Jax rematches with Raiko, while Liu Kang and Cole are facing Mileena and Kabal. This time Jax is more prepared and manages to fight back. He ruthlessly punches Raiko and finishes him off with the final strike. On the other side, Sonya rematches with Kano in her container. She eventually throws a bottle of acetone towards him, temporarily disabling his laser skill. The fight continues and both of them are thrown off the window. Sonya finally manages to eliminate Kano and his marking is passed down to her. Back to Liu Kang and Cole, the fight is very intense where both of them are exchanging punches and slashes with their foes. But in the end, Liu Kang casts a fire dragon that consumes Kabal and burns him to a crisp. Sonya travels to assist Cole and uses her newfound Arcana power, allowing her to fire a plasma beam which kills Mileena on the spot. Meanwhile, Sub-Zero appears at Cole's family hideout and kidnaps Allie and Emily. Cole is lured to a building where Sub-Zero freezes his family alive. Cole is furious and fights the strongest assassin. However, the villain is still too strong for him. When Cole's blood touches the kunai, Hanzo is brought back from hell and strikes Sub-Zero with his weapon. This time, Hanzo changes his name to Scorpion. They engage in a fight while Cole tries to save his wife and daughter with his power. With Cole's help, it now becomes a 2 versus 1 fight. Both of them manage to corner the assassin and trap him with a chain. Scorpion opens his mask, telling the villain that he controls Hell and burns Sub-Zero to death. Allie and Emily are rescued, and before disappearing, Scorpion thanks Cole for freeing him and orders him to keep his bloodline alive. Raiden and the others eventually arrive, and the Thunder God is impressed when he learns that Sub-Zero has been defeated. Not long after, Shang Tsung shows up to retrieve the body of the assassin and the fighters. He warns the champions of the Earthrealm that he will come back with more armies, but Raiden brings him back to Outworld. He tells the champions that they are victorious today, but they must gather and train another champion as the enemies are still out there. At the end of the movie, Cole is seen at the gym and tells the promoter that he is quitting and going to Hollywood to find someone. The camera then pans over to show who Cole is looking for: Johnny Cage. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.